the tyranny of the discontinuous mind to look at things in black and white. Every time we see something, we either has to be one extreme or the other extreme. And we are there somewhere in between. We are pushed and polarized towards one another. We live in that echo chamber which tells us to be more polarized and look towards the extreme as always. We see things around us which are in black and white, and we are able to make sense of that. Thank you. So we see things around us and we make sense out of it. The piano, which is there right next to one another, we make sense if it's black and white. Black and white always reminds us of our past, nostalgia. Beautiful emotion which is captured out of this. We also think of black and white in these ways. And this is the diet trap for me. I can imagine what kind of a feeling each and every one is having right now. I'm here to explore the gray spectrum. It's not necessary that everything has to be in the left or the right. There is a lot of excitement which is there in between. And that is where my expertise, or my possible expertise in practical sustainability comes in. Sorry, it's going to probably take another 5 minutes, but I'm hopefully going to be making it worth it for you.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
All right, wonderful, thank you. Quickly tell me which is the third one. We know that the second and the third, first and the second is always there in the last sentence, last words. But can somebody quickly tell me as to where's the third one? The third one is the sentence itself, right? It's a sentence itself. Now, this, of course, takes a little bit of time processing, but it's intelligent humor. Not like this. Very easy to get to people when you just put a funny meme outside and ask people to laugh, right? I hope I'm speaking to people who are understanding both sides of that spectrum. What are we doing here? We are embracing the abstract and letting go of the concrete. Every day in our day-to-day operations, when we are exploring things, we tend to give too much of importance to things which are really not important. Think about it. But we hold on to the things which are abstract, and this is how stupid we actually look when we do it emotionally. When we get into the holding on to the abstract, we give rise to tokenism. What is tokenism? We are so used to using this one word, which is detrimental in every sustainability effort. I held a banner. I participated in a run. I signed a petition. I did my job. Right? That is tokenism. It actually works the other way around, right? You feel that you have done something, you shrug away that responsibility, and you carry on for the rest of your lives, saying that I have done something, I have done my part. And that tokenism gives rise to greenwashing. You become gullible. You don't see the world around you with the right kind of critical lens, and you are a sitting duck for people who are capitalists, who are trying to make money out of the sustainability ecosystem. There are hundreds and thousands of examples of greenwashing. Look at something which is there in our industry. A small bin liner, which is there, which we use on an everyday basis. It's made out of plastic. Now, there's a new segment called oxy-biodegradable bin liners. But we know that is absolute rubbish. When it goes into the landfill, it again is responsible for creating more and more microplastics, even after breakdown, which is detrimental in the long run. So greenwashing is something which is very, very popular, and we are victims to it on an everyday basis. Think about this. For 15 years, we've been telling RWAs, Resident Welfare Associations, to please segregate your waste. And after you segregate the waste, give it to me, I will get it to the right processing plants, and you have done your part in terms of taking responsibility. 20 years almost, but nothing has worked. All the waste gets dumped into one place, and we go into processing. The amount of output that comes out of it is minimal, so it's all a compromise. Along comes behavioral change. We're never going to achieve behavioral change in consumers. I prepare something called RDF, refused derived fuel. Any kind of waste, whatever the proportion, you give it to me, I put it in my machine, and I prepare pellets like this that can replace coal. Now look at the amount of ticks you can put in the checkbox. You don't use fossil fuel. You upcycle waste. You are able to generate more energy, calories per cubic centimeter in this damn coal. So this is new technology. So adaptation to this technology is just out there. Just out there. It's just that we have to think sustainability to get there. Quite some time back when this happened, the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, every industry has been clearly given mandates, have been clearly given paths to take to ensure we get to a better place in the near future. Pharma industry is responsible for more than 6 of them. And all your mandates are being given. The driving force will always have to be from inside, how much you can adapt to it. I take another 5 minutes and not more than that, I promise. Churchill, the most important man in WW2. He was the one man who was behind ensuring that the best of the free world remains that from that one Nazi German. He loved the cigars. The embargo on Cuba because of WW2 had a very, very big problem. He couldn't get his cigars at all from Cuba. And he's the most important guy. He's saving the world. He has to have the cigars. So what do? The Indian government puts together something called the CCA, the Churchill Cigar Association. The Churchill Cigar Association. The only job for them is to find cigars for them from Tiruchirappalli, which is in Tamil Nadu. Apparently at that point of time, there was one company which manufactured the best tobacco ever. For more than 10 years or so, that CCA was active. But think about this. In 1995, there was a letter from the CCA that goes to the central government saying that we are the CCA. We haven't been given a salary raise for more than 8 years. So please raise my salary. Then the bureaucrat inside got in and found out what CCA was. And then they realized that the CCA's job is over for more than 45, 50 years. And we've been continuously paying them right through. And we just don't know about it, just under our noses. Why am I bringing this up? If you look at the Orientals, as of now, they've always used these chopsticks when they eat. So when you eat, you're very mindful of what you're eating. You have the right amount of protein, you have the right amount of carbs, the spice. You're very mindful, you know what you're eating. Let us use these chopsticks for our mind to gather more and more stuff which are relevant towards sustainability. So when you do that, you understand what practical sustainability is. One of my innovations of just thinking sustainably, I manufacture stationery, I manufacture paper, I manufacture stuff around plastic and bioplastic. When I think sustainably, you anyway use 100% of graphite inside this pencil. The pencil is always through the graphite. What we did was we took out the last 20% of graphite because you don't use it till the end. Right? You sharpen it halfway, after that you just throw it. But why have that graphite? If I'm able to innovate, I'm able to make a 10% saving, but on the total I make a 5% saving on MRP. So this is one way of innovation using sustainability to make more. That's my brand, ethical paper. I just wanted to change people's mindset about not using white paper. White paper has a huge amount of environmental impact. When you change it to grey color paper, the behavioral change that happens in a person when he just looks at it, these are optical triggers. The paper is ubiquitous, it's all over the place. Instead of that white paper which is staring in front of you, if it was a grey color paper, the question comes into your mind saying that, hey, if grey is possible, why white? Right? And that is the behavioral kind of change what my company or my team is out to get. We manufacture all of this. I would like to make more time, but this is a huge, huge impact. Every ton of paper which is going into white production uses around 50 to 60,000 liters of water. I use 1,500 liters. Look at the huge amount of savings which I've been able to do. And these stats, apart from a whole lot of statistics which says which is doomsday anyway, these stats, when they are thrown at your faces, that is when you start thinking, I want to do everything that is sustainable. But you can't, and hence comes the practical sustainability segment. Another product of mine, white paper, tissue paper. As long as the hygiene factors matter, the aesthetics matter, the brandings matter, the quality matters, the color really does not matter. But every time you use it, there is a reminding which has come to you on sustainability. Bioplastic bags, right? We just spoke about the oxy-biodegradable. We have something which is completely home compostable without leaving any microplastics. And hence that was one of my questions in terms of what's the delta an industry can pay to get something completely sustainable without greenwashing. A wheat fiber cup, an ideal example of greenwashing. Wheat husk, yes. Rice husk, yes. We upcycle, yes. But how do you bind it? With plastic. And can you throw it? Yes, you can. But after it degrades, the plastic also gets into microplastics. Example A, Exhibit A for greenwashing. Right? Gifting. When you look at this kind of gift, we've been used to this kind of a gift always. Let's change it. Let's think innovative. Let's make it plain, simple, minimal, and we have the same gift packaged in a very different way. We can narrate a story of it. Two schools of thought in economy. Jagdish Bhagwati, who said, work on creating jobs, work on creating assets, work on creating capital. Everything else in terms of education and social structure will follow. Versus Amartya Sen says, education first. 15 years, 20 years, it's perfectly fine. That will form a basis of how money can be handled after we become educated. We are looking at a very, very bright and a green future. You can reach me at the future.green. Thank you for your time.